Hello, hello. Today, let's brew some coffee. While brewing this coffee, we would also try to see a new product, a new platform. Let's say it's more of a platform. This platform is something that an architect can use, because as an architect, we don't have a medium where we have some sort of a daily challenges, right? A daily challenges to get a system design um, questions, and this questions generated on a random fashion, and every day we can get this sort of a questions, and you can practice them practice them like how you practice your gym, or how you practice on lead code for like an everyday challenge as well, right? Similarly, there is no platform for the system design sort of a questions. So today we would see something like this sort of a product. Let me deep dive into all this product. So this is called architect to lead interviewer. The complete repository is available on my GitHub, T Sabunkar. You can have a look. The complete backend code, the front end code, the infra, the Terraform code as well. And we will go through the complete functional diagram. We'll go through the high level diagram. We'll go to the complete project overview and how you can spin up locally. What are the different API endpoints? How you can deploy it in prod, as well as the different tech stack and the links used. But before that, let's go step by step. As I said, the context of this product or this platform, I would say, is that every day you'll get a new question, a new challenge, or a new question of system design, and you have to solve it. And once you solve this question, every day it will come at around 6:30, by the way. So once you solve this question, it would evaluate, and it would give you a score out of 100. How did you perform over different parameters? There are different parameters it will evaluate you on, and once it will evaluate, it will give you a score out of 10, and it will showcase that where exactly you stand, what's your scoring out of 100. And also it shows you who are your competitors out there who have submitted it, and what is their score, and where you stand in that as a, on the leaderboard, huh? So overall, this is the platform that it does. Just to have a peek view, sneak peek view, this is architect to lead interviewer. That's the whole platform about. The platform is nothing but every day you'll have a question. Right now there is no question generated for today yet. Since it is 23rd, we will look into it. We will see how we can generate a question manually. But as I said, it will generate a question at right now it is 5:04 a.m. But it will generate in at 6:30. Around 6:30 it will generate a new question, and a new challenge, let's say. Once you get that challenge, you can solve it. We will see how we can generate it manually by triggering it, and then you will solve this challenge. Everything is AI powered, by the way, right? We are in the world of AI. So this question, what it is generated, it is AI powered. That means a random question is generated by an AI. Then once you solve it, the evaluator is again an AI. I don't want to evaluate it, or we can't ask anyone to sit and evaluate your question, right? We would like the AI to evaluate your question. In the lead code, or in some of the coding platforms, you have already the compilers that can compile your code and give you, and provide you what was your rating, provide you the response, how was your rating, so on and so forth, and where do you stand in the leaderboard, right? But what about for system design? The difficult problem with system design sort of a question is it's sort of very vague, right? It has APIs, it has databases, it has cache. There is no definite answer. It is not factual logical answer. It is more on um, it is more on the theoretical basis, right? And to evaluate that, you need a person to evaluate. But since we are in the world of AI, This platform would let AI evaluate your answer, and it would try to give you a score out of 100. Where do you stand? Do you stand good with this problem? Did you worked well, and did you covered all the areas? And then you can also say, and then it can also recommend you what are your weaknesses, what are your strengths, so on and so forth, huh? So let's get started. Let's not waste our time into explaining this product more, because I think the context is clear. Let's go with the functional requirement first. As I said, you can use this on a mobile app or a desktop app. So every day, think that there is an LLM model that would spin up a new question every day at 6:30 to our desktop, to our mobile app or to our desktop app, or to this application or platform. Every 6:30 it happens, Indian Standard Time. Then you solve this, submit the response. Once you have this response, this service takes that, evaluate. First, it stores the relevant information, evaluate the top score, evaluate out of 100, how did you do, so on and so forth. And this evaluation is sent back to the user to showcase his weakness areas, to showcase where he stands on the leaderboard, so on and so forth. And to do this, we are using LLM model. Um, um, let's say two LLM models, one that would generate everyday question, and another to evaluate how did, for that specific question, how did the user perform now. So again, a very very simplified high level overview about the complete product or the platform, I would say, huh? Now, this is a functional requirement, and as an architect, once you get this business or a functional requirement, you try to solve this by thinking more in terms of high level design. How can you design this overall product? And once you design this overall product, you will go with low level design, and then write it into features and solve it. So um, here I'm trying to showcase you the architectural diagram, the high level design. Let's go into that. To solve this, let's say we have a Batman, and this Batman wants to solve this Batman wants to solve not just the problem of Gotham City, but also wants to solve a system design sort of a problem or a challenge. He comes to this website. Once he visit to the website, this website redirect to the CDN, the CloudFront. In the CDN, where you have the complete application. By the way, the complete application is built on to the React application. It's a React application. So we'll go through the code as well, one by one. So this is a complete React application. The architect to lead interviewer, the dist folder is deployed here, and once there is a request onto the backend services, it will go via API gateway. For the API gateway, as you see, we have different API endpoints for get, post methods, majorly get and post methods. For our once there is a new question, once there is a submission of answer, so on and so forth, there are different API endpoints for that, and each API endpoints are majorly into a different Lambda services. This Lambda services, basically the compute engine, are written in Golang. I love Golang nowadays. Um, this API services are written in Golang, and then we do have the databases, majorly the DynamoDB, to store the NoSQL way of the NoSQL fashion of storing this information. And for the LLM model, we are using uh, the Anthropics model, which is the Claude Sonnet 406, 4.6. This is spinned up in a serverless fashion with the AWS Bedrock, huh? So let's go step by step. First and foremost, For, as I said, at 6:30, at 6:30 there is an Lambda called AI interviewer question generator that would generate a question at 6:30 from the EventBridge, with schedules at 6:30. And then this AI interviewer then spins up serverless model Sonet 46, um, to randomly generate a new question. Once that question is generated randomly, by the way, you can follow this by, since I did not wanted to start with one, because it's not like, this is the first step indeed, but it's 6:30, right? Like, the scheduling happens at 6:30, so I have written it as X. So X dot A is this scheduling by the event bridge every day at 6:30. So you can follow this step by step. So X dot B is, check if the question exists already. If not, I think this is more of an X dot C. Um, check if the question already exists. If it doesn't exist, then you need to, if it already exists, you can skip generating a question, and then x.c is majorly that you initialize the bedrock client to spin up a question. And once that is done, you save that question x.d. You put that question into the AI interviewer questions database or table. In the DynamoDB, you don't have like a database, different schemas or the databases. Rather, you have one database and you have multiple tables. So here it will save this, or put this question inside the AI interviewer questions. So that's the first foremost step. But step number X, let's say. Then, for when you open this website, right? Like, let's say when the Batman is opening this website to solve a question, he would see today's challenge would be sent by a get request by this Lambda called AI interviewer fetch question. It will fetch slash question API endpoint from the AI interviewer questions database. It will fetch today's question and it will provide it to the website, right? To the to the system design interviewer platform website. Also, there is the user or the stat user. So if the user is, let's say the username or the user ID is architect, I think it is user ID, right? So if the user ID is architect underscore 3119, so for this information as well, once the user saves this information in the browser, even this information is been stored. Once he submit his answer, this will be stored under the table AI interviewer submission. And then you will get the user stats about who this person is, and that information will also be stored. By the way, we will just do a first walkthrough about this diagram. Right now, you might find this a bit complicated, but trust me, once we go step by step, it is quite easy to understand now. And it is, you will see how the things happens behind the scene, to generate this, to generate a new questions randomly by a Claude, and or by a AI model. And then the evaluation process, it is very interesting. So just follow with me. For the first time, we will go through this model, this complete diagram, and then we will do a code walkthrough. We will also see in the AWS console how the services looks, all the services, databases, lambdas, SQS, everything will be looking with the perspective of in the AWS console as well, right? So yeah, so the architect name has been showcased, back to the front end, I would say. So that's overall the step one. And once you have it, when you want to see the question, once you have written the solution out of it, we will see that how it happens. Then you would, then there is a post API endpoint. Once you post that answer, uh, or you'll submit that answer, there is an Lambda for AI interview submit answer that would that would first save it inside the submissions, AI interviewer submissions table, and then it would also queued up. It will be queuing it. This response, it will be queuing it to your evaluator worker. Why can't it directly send it to the evaluate worker? Why do we need to queue it? We'll see that later. Huh? Uh, or let me answer it now, because this evaluation lambda, it needs to evaluate. If there are lot many responses, then there might be a choke to, or there might be a miss for the cloud to response it. Rather, if and also from lambda to lambda communication, it is better to use another AWS trigger strategy, either by S3 bucket or either by SQS or by API gateway, some sort of a thing, right? Like as well, that is not the, that is an infra point of view, but majorly not to choke our by asynchronous events, not to choke our bedrock. What if there are a lot many submissions and our bedrock would be choked, right? Rather, it would be queued. Better to queue it so that it will go one by one, and the Claude can evaluate, or the model can evaluate each response one by one. Huh? That's why once the answer is submitted, it would be queued into the SQS. Then evaluation worker lambda, it will fetch the question from the queue. Let me go step by step. So 3.a is the green line. It will fetch the question, today's question. It will fetch from this table, AI interviewer questions. Then it would 3.b is it would evaluate the answer from the bedrock. Then the 3.c is it would it would see from the submission. It will submit it. Once the answer is evaluated, it will submit it to the AI interviewer submission, and then that will generate a submission ID. Once the submission happens, basically it is upserting it. Once the upsert happens, it will generate a submission ID. Then it will also update the leaderboard, AI interviewer leaderboard, that is 3.d. And once all this evaluation worker has evaluated it, that's it for the step number 3. Huh? So once this step 3 is done, the page changes, the complete URL changes. It will go to a new page. We will see that. Hold on with me. So once the URL change happens, we will see the evaluation report, how the evaluation has happened, on what is the score, the summary, what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses, what are the category breakdown. And since the URL changes, it will call the get API endpoint, which will be invoked by the backend service, majorly by the Lambda AI interviewer get results. This get results would be from the submission, the complete submission and its parameter and the weaknesses strengths has been stored in the database as well. That response has been fetched back into a different page, back to the front end, right? So again, this value or this response would be sent the evaluation report. And once the user changes again, um, there is no redirection happens from 3 to 4. It happens automatically. But when the user click on to a leaders board, then there is a get API point that has been invoked, which is AI interviewer leaderboard, a service that would be invoked by the AI interview leaderboard table. And then this would fetch where exactly the this architect or the user stands. Huh? So overall, this is the complete project or the platform, that's how it behaves. Huh? So now, since we understand on a very very high level, the surface level, what this product does or this platform does, the context is clear, the functional requirement is clear, we have seen the architectural overview as well. Now let us see in terms of code as well as in terms of code walkthrough, as in terms of AWS services where it holds. Huh? Before that, just to let you know, I have been using or I have been experimenting with something called open open code. Open code is basically the open source AI coding agent. You can pull up any model. You can pull up any model, and you can ask him, or you can ask this model to write the code for you. The good part is that you can pull up any of the free models that are available out there, by any of the providers. I have been using this model called Big Pickle, Big Pickle. Quite a good model, huh? Trust me, I have completely wipe coded this, and with this wipe coding, the Big Pickle has picked up all the functional requirement what I wanted to do into this sort of distributed system very well, and it was able to identify the issues really well compared to the way I have been coding or wipe coding it with other models. Huh? Again, a free model. Let me quickly show you. Again, the free model that I have been using here. Nothing fancy. You just need to install this or download this, and once you have it, you just call open code in your repository, and that would spin up, and then you can ask, and then you can choose any specific model that you want. There are Big Pickle, there are DeepSeek, Flash Free, Nimtron, Minicode Free, all these models which are for free, as well as the paid models as well from the Bedrock, if you want to use that. So right now with Big Pickle, I have been wipe coding this. So first and foremost, let's see about, since we are clear with the high level design, let's do a code walkthrough quickly. I'll open the code here as well. Tut, tut, tut. Where is my xlit? So first and foremost, the front end application. As I said, the front end application has been created in React. All the pages, with respect to the dashboard, with respect to the home, everything is here. You can have a look about the complete front end. I would not like to go in detail about this overview. I'll just give you an overview about that. The complete front end application is here. um, what are the different API endpoints it would be calling or invoking? You can just have a look. What I'm interested is about how do I build this application, um, and how do I deploy it. So I am trying to not use any CI/CD pipelines right now. I'm just trying to build it, the dist folder, and once the dist folder is built, since I need to copy this dist folder into this S3, so I'm directly syncing up from my local itself by doing AWS S3 sync the dist folder, the newly dist folder generated, into my S3 colon AI interview. This is my S3 bucket. By the way, once if you are trying to mimic this platform into your system, by the way, this is completely open source. I have already pushed my code into my T Sabunkar repository. You can have a look. Just ensure that when you do this Terraform init and Terraform apply under the Terraform, you are trying to change this into your bucket name, because it will be S3 AI interview of frontend, something of your bucket. It will not be the same. And then what am I trying to do here? I'm trying to sync my dist folder, and also I'm trying to ensure that the cache, the CDN cache, um, the certificate sorry the I'm trying to invalidate the existing CDN, and trying to for the same distribution ID, I'm trying to recreate, or repoint it with my new dist. So by invalidating the cache, so this is quite useful. This step is quite useful, or else you'll be again the cache would be repointing to the same. Again, this is since I wanted to avoid the CI/CD deployment process. Overall, the complete project has become quite huge. So, not huge, I would say, good in terms of functionality, but I need to um, do the CI/CD as well. Let me know in the comment section if you're interested. If you are interested to completely CI/CD the front end and back end as well, I'll be doing that into the next video. Um, okay, so that is about the front end. For the back end part, let's go to the back end part. As I said, there are different services. So we will go through the different service by service. First service is about, okay, in terms of AWS as well, we can quickly check how our CDN looks. So this is the CloudFront, the CDN for the AI interviewer front end. This is the CDN, and in terms of API gateway, so this is the API gateway, API interviewer API gateway, all the API endpoints that are available, answer, leader, questions, results, stats, and the Swagger as well. We'll go through each APIs line by line, or we'll do the code walkthrough as well. But first and foremost, the Lambda. The first Lambda would be the generator Lambda, the question generator Lambda, right? So let's go to this Lambda, since we are interested with. Let me sort it. Okay. So the question generator Lambda. So the AI interview question generator Lambda. So this Lambda, we'll do a code walkthrough quickly. That. So under CMD, you have all your services, and you'll have definitely the main.go for each of the service or Lambda. So we are interested with question generator Lambda. So under that, you have the main.go, where you can find this Lambda. Basically nothing but the main function starts the handle scheduled event, and this handle scheduled event, it would first try to see the time zone, what exactly the IST time zone is, and this would be scheduled by, or this function would be invoked when it is at 6:30, right? It will check if the current time zone is 6:30. It would try to evaluate that the time zone. First it will see the time zone generation. It will check if today's, and also it will check if today's question is already existing. If it is existing, it will say that the question already exists. It will not try to generate, or it will not try to invoke the bedrock. If it doesn't if it there is no question for today, and if it is 6:30, then it would invoke, or it will attempt, or it will invoke a call, or it will invoke the initialization for the AWS Bedrock, which would serverlessly spin up a new model, uh, the Sonnet model. It would ask to generate a new question. So to generate a new question, there is definitely some sort of a prompt that has been structured, stating that you are a master system design interviewer, right? We're telling the system that, hey, you are the model, the Claude model, that you're a system design interviewer. Generate a challenge for today's daily, blah blah blah. Generate a system design. The output must have the JSON object, and the title should look something like very catchy, a detailed problem statement. It should have the difficulty level, that it is medium, easy, medium, hard, and it needs to categorize that into um, API design, cache, scalability, availability trade-off, so on and so forth. Then what is the hints, so on and so forth. And once this has been generated, the question is generated, and it is submitted to the Bedrock client, to the Sonnet. And once this prompt, and that question is generated, and it has been submitted back to the database, to the put question to the DynamoDB database, to the table which I have said x.d, if you remember, AI interviewer questions. So that would save this question into this AI interviewer questions, right? That is it about this Lambda, AI interviewer question generator Lambda. Back to the 1.a, if you remember, we have spoken about the fetch questions. So let me spin up, instead of me trying to state in this way, let me try to say how it will fetch up. Let me locally run this, right? Like, it will be fun to see how we can see this code. So I'll try to spin up the front end, change directive front end, npm run. Since in the front end, as I said, it is npm run dev. I don't want to build it, so it is opened in no, I don't want to open in the browser. I want to open in the browser. Oops. No questions generated for today yet. Oh, um, let me comment my .env.dev. Okay, no failed to question generated questions. Let me open a new terminal for my backend as well. If you see my Docker, by the way, I've completely Dockerized it. There are no containers that have been spent. So if I change to my backend, as I said, the complete backend has been Dockerized. So there is a Docker file. So I can just say make Docker up. So if I say that, it would try to spin up the complete backend in terms of the database, the local database. You can't have the Dynamo database locally, but there have been an alternative which I've found, that you can spin up locally the DynamoDB. You also, for the admin view or the GUI, for the DynamoDB database, even that you can't have it because it's AWS. Again, I have found an alternative image, DynamoDB admin. So you can have a look. It is quite interesting, the Docker Compose file as well. This is that image, by the way, the DynamoDB admin page, as well as the backend server, which is running. So yeah, this has pinned up. Failed to initialize the table, check interview questions. Describe table exceeded maximum number of attempts 3. Okay, the app is not able to open. Failed to initialize table, check table AI interviewer questions. Is it already spinning somewhere else? I'll just down it. Removed from the backend. Make Docker Compose up. Okay, the app is running now. Let me see in the Docker. Okay, you see all the application, the backend server is running, which I can open the Swagger. All the API endpoints, the answers, the questions, the results, the stats. Um, since I can't open the DynamoDB because you need to have a client, for the DynamoDB. So yeah, this is the admin's client, which I was trying to say. If you want to see, there is a question. There is already a question which is been inserted, and yeah, the Swagger, and it is all locally hosted. And if I spin up the front end now, npm run dev, you see there is today's challenge, right? Today's question. Okay, let me minimize this. Not needed, not needed. So today's question, right? So design a URL shortener. So if you see this, if you are interested where it is coming from, in the questions, AI interviewer questions, I have already had a question which is design a URL shortening service like tiny URL. The system holds the long URL generated, blah blah blah. All these parameters, and the complete title is design URL shortener, right? And when you start this challenge, you can set up your username. Once you set up your username, you'll have a question on the left side stating what the question is. It'll also You will also have the hints. Even this hints information has been stored here. What sort of hints that you can have: hint 0, hint 1, and hint 2. um, all these hints, and once you submit the answer, um, and once you click, it will go to the submit solution. So we will go through the Lambda one by one. So yeah, since this is quite helpful, right? Like locally you can spin it up and see, and then write your code and see if it is working fine, and only then you deploy it. Okay, so you have this the it is clear about how you are fetching these questions. So if you go back, so the first page, when you start, when you start the page, you see a question. You see today's question. The today's question has been it has been invoked by the get, which is the fetch questions. And this fetch questions comes from the AI interviewer questions, right? AI interviewer questions table. Right now I'm showing this all locally, but again this completely works as well once we are deploying it. For the AI interviewer questions, if you see under command, questions generator we have seen already. AI interviewer fetch question, you're trying to fetch the question from the table. And here is the code for that. You are making the get call. First you're trying to get the get questions from the DynamoDB client. That's what you're trying to do. Once you get the questions, the question has been available, and also the architect, stats architect, the architect ID, or the user ID, let's say stat slash user ID, even that information you're trying to get it. Then coming back, let me go to the start challenge. Yeah, the stat slash architect ID, this is that architect or the username, your user ID. So once you have this question, and let's say the Batman wants to solve this problem. I'm just copy pasting this. I don't want to sit and solve it now. And he can see whether he has already completed the requirement scaling. Did he complete the horizontal scaling part? Did he think about the database scheme? All this checklist for an architect, if he has already considered while writing his solution. So once he write a solution, once he clicks the submit solution, once the submit solution is clicked, the post request goes on. By the way, it says it has just randomly evaluated. There is no backend call to a model, to a AI model, since it is running locally in the local host. That's why you see that even though I've copy pasted the question, it says all my strength and weaknesses are fine, which is not so true. But you'll see what happens when I am deploying the solution, or when it is in the prod environment. I won't be scoring 75 out of 100. Rather, I'll be scoring 1 or 2 marks out of 100. Okay. So once you submit the solution, when the submit solution, there was an AI architect is evaluating, right? Like at that period of time, it would take a good amount of time, 30 seconds for sure, for the model to spin up, for all this functionality 2 and 3 functionality to finish. It will take a good less than 30 seconds for sure, but it will take a good amount of time. Here what happens is, it calls the AI interviewer submit answer. So we'll go through this Lambda AI interview submit answer. In this submit answer, it is basically the post call, the post API endpoint, that would for your DynamoDB client. And once you put the submission, the pending submission, the initial submission has been put into the table, which is AI interviewer submission. Once the submission is put, then it would also try to send the message to the QA, and it will try to marshal it, serialize and deserialize it, basically, the JSON format. This would try to also marshal and send it inside the SQS queue. Here, the SQS queue is the AI interviewer submission. Let's go quickly check. So we have seen about question generator Lambda. We have seen about other Lambdas as well, which was this submit answer Lambda. And the submit answer Lambda, it's, as I said, the API gateway, which will be the post. It will be a post when you post the answer, right? Then it would go to the queue. The queue would be AI interviewer submissions queue. There'll be dead letter queue as well for that. If it fails, what happens? It will go to the dead letter queue. uh, uh, Once the submission happens to the queue, then it will go to the evaluation worker Lambda. um, Evaluation worker Lambda pulls or pull from the queue. So let's quickly go to the evaluation worker. This is where the magic happens, or the logic happens, where first it would try to, from the main function, let's quickly go to the handle queue event. Here, first and foremost, this part of the code try to process the message from the queue, SQS queue. Once this is processed, then it will send to, then this will invoke the process message. Process message is another function where the magic happens, as I was trying to say. In this process message, we will have different step. So step one, fetch today's questions detail. So it will go and fetch from the AI interview questions, which question was posted by, because since it is a different model, it needs to know which question was. It doesn't have the state. Completely, the complete application is serverless. So even this specific Bedrock model doesn't know this specific Bedrock model's question. So it is completely serverless. I don't store the specific state, because if I store the state for the whole day, I need to pay to the AWS. So it is completely serverless. That's why I'm storing it into the database, and then that question I'm trying to store it in the database, and that question has been fetched. So so this Claude model doesn't know, as I said, which question is there. So before that, you need to get that question. So first you need to fetch that get question from the AI interviewer questions table. Once you fetch that, you evaluate the answer by the Bedrock, right? So the two is that you call the Bedrock client, where you evaluate the answer. While evaluating, um, again, you are, previously it was given that you are a master design system design interviewer as a system prompt. Here you are saying that you're a senior principal system architect conducting a system design interview, sort of. Then you are, it is changing the hierarchy for the answer, and then how it will evaluate. Then it will take the question from the parameter, and sorry, the question that was, yeah, the question that was submitted, as well as the answer that was submitted by the candidate. And then it will try to evaluate on you this, or onto the 7 categories, with requirement, API design, database, cache, scalability, availability, and trade-off. Again, I can go and change these categories in the prompt, and it will change the evaluation. So this evaluation happens, happens, and then it would try to evaluate you and score you out of 100. How did you perform? And I have also showcased that how it needs to give the strength and the weakness and the feedback as well back. The invocation is back here for the evaluated result, and this has been submitted into your submissions table, AI interview submissions table, which is your 3.c. So 3.c is basically the three here, and then it also updates the leaderboard. It would update the leaderboard, which is AI interview leaderboard update. So once that is done, that's it. That is the overall evaluation worker lambdas um, invocation. That's how it happens. A lot many functionality in 2 and 3. Once this is done, as I said, if we can go back to the app, yeah, once then it would change the URL, right? You see, when you were there in the interviewer, when you click the submission, if you remember, when we have clicked the submission, it has evaluated it and changed the URL. Let me quickly show you again. So you have here, then you have clicked the submission. You see the URL has been changed. Previously the URL was different. If let me did not explain that itself. So you see the URL is sat/challenge. Once you submit this, there was a post request that processed this, and then it was evaluating it. And once the evaluation happens, the URL got changed to result slash the submission ID. So the submission happens, the submission ID, and it has evaluated it, all the information. The you have seen how the categorization happened for the submission. That the data has been again showcased into the front end in much more in a better GUI, and what are the strength weaknesses completely evaluated by the Claude. Not this one, by the way. This is locally just taking a random evaluation, but when we see the deployed version, it actually evaluates. And once the evaluation happens, then you can click on the view leaderboard. There is no change of URL, but here there is an automatic change of URL. And when you click the view leaderboard, you can see that how it is behaving. URL leaderboard, that who are the top architects from the leaderboards table, which is AI interviewer leaderboard. From the leaderboard table, it will see who are the top evaluator, or top architect, how the performance happened. All the leaderboard information has been showcased here back to the front end. So overall, this is the application. Um, okay, in terms of code, did I? Yeah, I think the evaluation lambda was quite important, but overall, I think you get the idea. Once the evaluation lambda happens, how the next lambda with respect to the get results, how it behaves. Basically, the get API endpoint would be there, would get the submissions result. Similarly, the leaderboard, for the leaderboard as well, you will have the get leaderboards detailed, so on and so forth. So yeah, this is the complete backend, and the complete Terraform, the infra. You can have a look here. The complete infra has been here. I'll not go in detail now. Rather, I will showcase. Locally, we have seen this how it works. But if I want to showcase in the prod, it has been deployed here. It's not 6:30 right now. It's 5:50 a.m. So that's why there is no question generated for today. But let's see if I can quickly. Uh, I can quickly trigger trigger my question generator lambda. Let me quickly go. Not this. What did I? Question generator lambda. I will try to just test an event, just an empty event. Even if I'm trying to trigger it by test event, it should just trigger a new question. I'll go to monitor, view in CloudWatch. Uh, Here it is, logs. Today's logs. You see, attempting to generate a question using a Bedrock client successfully generated a new question. You might be seeing the new question now. Let me quickly spin up. See, even though it is not, you see, design a real-time collaborative document editor. So this is a new question that it has generated. And now, once this, even though it is not 6:30 right now, I have just manually generated it by triggering my Lambda, the questions generator Lambda. And when I click on start submit, I can just have my same architect 3119. So you see, it has given the category as heart, what exactly I need to design, what is the functional requirement, detailed functional requirement, what is the non-functional requirement, the traffic scale estimates, the constraints, assumptions, what is expected. Then to solve this, there are some hints as well. This was way detailed compared to what we have seen locally. And then let me do what I have did here, right? Like you remember, this was something design URL. This was a local one, right? And then I have copy pasted this answer here, and then that it said that my evaluation score was so good, 74. But let me see if I can do this gimmick here. Uh, when I click on submit solutions, it would actually go to a backend evaluation. The AI is evaluating it. It was not that fast how it was here locally, if you remember. So it actually evaluates by the AI model, where it will go to the queue. It will be evaluated by the Bedrock. And let me, you see, you see the evaluation report, right? It is just 2 out of 100. The evaluation summary, it is just 2 out of 100. And the executive summary, you see the weakness. The candidate provided no actual answer, only the problem statement was restated. You see, if you just copy paste, it will say that your architectural footprint as well, nothing. There is no strength. You have just copy pasted the question. It is smart enough, guys. It is really smart enough to say that you have not actually written any answer. And it will see, it is rating you all 0 out of 100 for API designs, availability, cache, and so on and so forth. Requirement, you have just restated the question now, so there is, that's why you have been evaluated as 2 out of 100. Why even 2? You could say 0, but you have just re-evaluated. You have just rewritten the questions or the requirements it has given to. Yeah, that has been it. Have triggered manually. View dashboard. Okay, so it says failed to load the dash lead leaderboard. Now, I would like to quickly fix this. Let's see how we can fix this by open code, right? Ideally, I was expecting that it should work. It should go to the DynamoDB database. The leaderboard should have been visible. Let's see why is it not. So under tables, I have my questions table. Um, Explore table item. So there should be two questions every day, a new question, right? So two questions, 22nd and 23rd. Leaderboard, there is no item was created under leaderboard. Under submissions, the end users who are submitting. But let me quickly ask my open code, open code in the deployed version, the global leader board states failed to load the leaderboard, and the leaderboard table is not updated. Any it is only happening for the deployed one. Any specific reason? If so, fix it. Yeah, so the big pickle is the model for the vibe coding here. It is trying to see and explore the complete project under AI interviewer. The fun part is, let's see now, right? There's no new code. The fun part is this is completely for free. This is completely free. That means even though you see the tokens and the percentage use, even though it goes around 60, 70, again it will come back to zero, since it is for free. And now it is trying to go through the complete code, build it, and see if there are changes. So if this takes a lot, I'll try to fast this part of the video, and we will see once it has been fixed up.
You can see that it has applied, it has just uncommented what I've commented on the .env def .env file, the API URL. I don't think, okay. Then it is trying to invalidate the cache, the CloudFront cache, and then it is trying to redeploy it. The leaderboard is not getting updated or inserted for the deployed version. Validate and fix it. Found the issue, the evaluation, the put item. You see, IAM policy is missing for the leaderboards table. The updated leaderboard function. So there was a IAM policy missing onto the leaderboards, the Lambda. And it is applying that. Found the issue, evaluating worker Lambda IAM policy is missing on the DynamoDB put item on the leaderboard table. So that it has done. The updated function it is trying to put. Two issues found and fixed. Okay, looks like it has done that. Existing queue failed due to check the dead letter queue. Why it is asking me to check the dead letter queue? So it has found the issue in the IAM policy. I thought it would pop up. Let me ask to deploy it rather than me deploying it. There is this dashboard as well. Okay. It would evaluate and let me see the dead letter queues. It is available in the queue, interviewer submission queue. Message was available and in the flight. It has evaluated it. View the leaderboard. Still it fails. It has been consumed. Did it update the database? The leaderboard. The leaderboard is updated now. Previously it was not updated. Okay, so I'll say AI viewer leaderboard table is updated, but okay, maybe the cache issue. Maybe let me empty cache and hard reload from the CDN. No, still not. But front end still states because the expected date different. You see how it is trying to go through the leaderboard API and trying to fix that. Yeah, it is still building script in the front end. It did not get the solution. Deployed the leaderboard zip state. Just trying to rebuild it now. It is auto approving its own Terraform and trying to deploy it, by the way. This model is really good. Let me see what changes it is doing. Let me turn off local development. Oh, there was three issues that contributed.
Field leaderboard API. Okay, maybe now it has got it. So this was the last activity it did. Steal the pre-built binary build from the older code. That's why it was not building it. So it has deployed the latest version and it has done that. And yeah, um, from the infra point of view, only the policy change it has done. Just say policy updated. I'll commit that and push it to my code. You see how, even though there was a bug right now, how the open code has fixed the complete bug and it was able to resolve it. So yeah, I've pushed the code to prod and now everything works good. Even though I have deliberately not fixed that leaderboard issue, I wanted to showcase that how the open code vibe coding is so powerful to do that. And Even though I've used this many tokens, again it's free. It will once it goes to around 70, 80, again it will become 0% used. So yeah, in by the way, in another 20 minutes, the new questions would be generated for today at 6:30. So yeah, that's it for today. We have seen this new platform, and it's live right now. You can go check it out and start using it, start exploring it, and start solving those challenge on the day-to-day basis for your system design system design sort of questions that you are looking forward for. Thank you and have a good day. Bye.